In this video, I will be walking you through the process of sewing a double-breasted short collar waistcoat step by step. And I do hope you've gotten your pattern ready from our last tutorial. In case you haven't seen my previous video on how to draft a double-breasted waistcoat pattern, kindly check the link to the tutorial in the description area below. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bolaji, and if you are new here, this is Regi School of Fashion. On this platform, I provide a well-detailed instructional guide and mentorship in fashion designing. If this sounds like what you've been looking for, you are at the right place. And do good by subscribing to this channel if you haven't, so that you won't miss any of my subsequent videos. Enough of long talk. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. These are the pieces I cut out in constructing a double-breasted short collar waistcoat using the pattern we drafted in the last episode. I cut out two pieces for the back panel. When I was cutting the back panel, my fabric was unfolded. As you can see, the center back is not opened. I folded my fabrics into half and I placed my pattern. So I cut this as the main fabric, which is going to be showing at the back, while this is going to serve as a lining that will be inside the waistcoat. Then I fused this upper part to use this as a facing. If you don't want just like this, you can as well cut this part off, add your seam allowance, use this to cut a separate fabric, then fuse it like so. Then, which means later we are going to join the two pieces together. So I have this for the back, and for the front I have the front panels in pieces. This is the first and this is the second. So this is the patterns I used in cutting out the front panel. So after cutting out the main fabrics, I fused it with a light cotton fusible interfacing, as you can see. Then I cut out the lining and the facing. In cutting out the lining and the facing, I folded my pattern into half like so, not equal half, but I made sure my dart falls on this part, which is the armhole side. So the remaining part I have here is what I used in cutting out the facing, like so. Like so. And I added half of an inch of seam allowance. So while I use this for the facing, definitely the remaining part is going to be for the lining, and I added my seam allowance on the lining as well. On these edges I added half of an inch. The first step in constructing a double-breasted short collar waistcoat is to pick the dart. I will be picking the dart on all the pieces: the front, the back, the facing and the lining. Just the way I plotted my darts on the back panel, I transferred it exactly on my fabrics and the lining. This is the lining, while this is the main fabric. So I've constructed my dart the same way I constructed it on the pattern. And for the front panel as well, on each piece I plotted my darts. You can see I have a dart here, I have a dart here. And for the lining, this is the piece that carries the dart. So I will be picking my dart on this piece. That is the lining side, not on the facing. Then while picking the dart, we are going to do another thing together with it, that is attaching the back belt. So the back belt has to be attached on the back panel. So that is the main fabric for the back panel. If you don't want to use a suit lining for your back panel, you can as well use the same fabric you use for the front. It all depends on you. While picking the back dart, I will be attaching the back belt at the same time. And how do I do this? I will need to cut out the center line of my dart in order to be able to insert my belt. So I needed 2 of these. I've constructed one, so I will use this in explaining how I got this. The measurement I used in cutting out the back belt is 11.5 inches for the length, and for the wideness I have 2.5 inches. After constructing the belt, I have 0.75 left. That is 0.75 in 2 places because this is on fold. That makes it 1.5 inches. Then half of an inch here, half of an inch here, 1 inch in total. That is why I have 2.5 inches. So that is 0.75 plus half of an inch. So that gives me 1.25. On fold like this, I have 1 inches and 1/4. If I open it up, I will have 2.5 inches. Okay, then I folded this in half, right side facing the right side, like so. So right side facing the right side, making sure the 2 edges are aligned properly. Okay, then on the open side, I stitch with half of an inch of seam allowance from the edges downward to the lower part. Then I close one of the openings I have here. This is one opening and this is one. I close one part with half of an inch as well. Then the remaining opening I have at the top is what I use in turning this inside out. After turning it inside out, I gave it a good press. So that is how I arrived at the back belt. In attaching this to the back panel, as I said earlier, I will open up the center of my dart. So I will cut this from the hem line gently above the waistline. It can be like 1 to 1.5 inches above the waistline because the belt will be attached on the waist point. Okay, so you can see what I have. I open up the center line. When I wanted to fix this now, I will just hold the 2 pieces together and I will stitch on the dart line I have by the side. Okay, so I will take this from the right side. I will insert my belt. As I said, this has to be on the waistline, so which means the middle of my belt is going to fall on the waist point. Then I will hold it with my sewing pin. So now you can see what I have. So when I'm ready to stitch the dart, so which means I will be stitching it together with the belt, and on the right side I will have this. And I will repeat the same process on the second dart opening. So guys, now I will be taking all these pieces to my sewing machine, pick the dart and attach the belt at the same time. So guys, now I have all the darts picked on all the pieces as I said earlier, and I also attached the belt on the back panel. So this is what I have for the belt after attaching. Okay, so after picking the dart, the next step is to construct the pocket. So guys, you can add any pocket of your choice on your waistcoat. This can either be a single word pocket, or a double welt pocket, or a single welt pocket with flap, or double welt pocket with flap. You can choose any of these 4 pockets for your waistcoat. And if you don't mind, you can also add a regular pocket on your waistcoat. It all depends on your preference. So for the sake of this tutorial, I will be adding a double welt pocket to my waistcoat. So in adding this, I have my welt pieces cut out, and because this is a double welt, 2 pieces is going to be for each of the front panel. 2 pieces for this and 2 pieces for this. The measurement I used in cutting out the welt is 7 inches by 3 inches. On fold I have 1.5 inches. I have 7 inches like this, and I have 1.5 inches like so. If I open it up, I will have 3 inches. So I will go ahead and construct my double welt pocket. Now, in case you don't know how to construct any of these pockets, I also have a well-detailed tutorial on how to construct both the single and the double welt pocket. This is a well-detailed tutorial in which I explain into details from the measurements needed in cutting out the welts and the pocket bag, okay, how to fuse your fabric, how to attach this, and how to attach the pocket bag to your welt. If you haven't seen that video, kindly check the description area below for the link to the tutorial. So I will go ahead and construct my welt of the camera, after which I will be back to show you the next step. So guys, now I have my double welt pocket constructed. As you can see, I have this for this piece and I have this for the second piece. Later I will take this to my ironing board and give it a good press. So after constructing the pocket, the next step is to construct the shawl collar.